The cars are already, I think, coming out onto the grid, lining up ready for the fourth and final heat. The first chance to see the last set of drivers competing this weekend. So let's go back to Andy, who will take you through the grid.
Yes, thank you, Richard. So I said at the start of the afternoon that there wasn't necessarily one heat that was more competitive than the others, and I stand by that. But this is possibly the heat that I'm most excited to see, because there are one or two drivers in here, not just the obvious choices either, but I really can't wait to see how they get on. We have got our reigning festival winner, Rory Smith, on pole position. We've got the 2016 festival champion, Niall Murray, alongside him. We've got Neil McLennan up there, third on the grid in the number 25 car. Neil McLennan was multiple champion across Scottish and national Formula Ford racing. And some bloke called Jan Magnussen, who's won a couple of races in GTs and other things for that matter, who has qualified, as you can see, rather well. Let's run through the full grid then. It is Smith and Murray on row 1, festival winners, both of them. McLennan and Ivan McCulloch on row number 2. McCulloch, as we said, a double Kent class festival champion. In fact, took his first one 10 years ago in 2011. Then it's Jan Magnussen. Now, I did not necessarily expect, with the greatest of respect, Jan to stick it fifth on the grid. He is in a modern car, but still hasn't raced single-seaters or Formula Fords for an awfully long time. But Jan Magnussen in the 169 car, 1992 Formula Ford Festival champion, and 3 festival champions, outright festival champions, in the top 5 on the grid. Then it's Megan Gilks, who lines up 6th position ahead of Tom Hawkins and Michael Gray on row number 4. Row number 5 is then Drew Stewart and Chris Acton, with Chris Goodwin, another name that many of you will be familiar with. Chris Goodwin in the 188 car, who competed in many festivals back in the late 80s, but then went on to race in British touring cars, British GT, and over in American sports car and GT racing with great success as well, and now is a very prominent historic racer, again making a welcome return to the festival. Lines up 11th alongside Robbie Allen. Then it's Robert Higgins and Leanne McShane, Laurie Hughes and Philip Harris, with David Mavyutov, there we go, I'm sure I crucified that name, with Stuart Casterbaugh, Alan Slater and Jeremy Fairbairn to round out the top 20. Then it's Terry Walkinshaw, Phil Atwood, Ian Geary and Sean Macklin, who didn't set a lap time in qualifying. I'm not sure if he is out there. Yes, I think he might be at the back of the grid, so we hopefully will have all 24. This one, Scott, should be great, with all of these festival champions of the past lining up towards the sharp end. How is Jan Magnussen going to get on, though? I mean, so long it's been since he raced a single-seater, certainly one without slicks and wings. 5th on the grid's a mega effort.
It's almost like you never lose it, isn't it? In some cases, racing Formula 4 for some is like riding a bike. You never forget how to do it, and it's great stuff. And I have to say, I did take a quick glance before we went through the grid, and I did look at that, and the first thought that went in my head was, this is a tasty heat, this is. The fact you've got these really good drivers in here. Of course, you've got, like I said, Rory Smith, defending champion, 2-time festival winner in 2013 and 2016, Niall Murray, as well as a former national champion as well. Last year's national champion, Neil McLennan. Ivan McCulloch, a double Kent festival winner. Jan Magnussen in there too. Megan Gilks, who has been great, took a personal best of 4th in the national Formula Ford at Snetterton towards the end of the season, and so many other great drivers up there too as well. This should be an absolute belter. Just a reminder, this is sponsored by Downforce Radio, so of course shout out to George Grant, Jake Sanson, of course, and we call it with Dave Goddard, and Chris and Topher and everyone else who are here for this weekend as well, who are enjoying the action with George Grant also. So buckle up, because this one, hopefully, with now dry conditions, could be potentially the heat of the weekend so far, I hope.
I think you might be right then. 5-second board is shown. The car on the inside of row 1 is Rory Smith. The car on the outside is Irish driver Niall Murray. Which of those two will get into Paddock Hill Bend first, or will it be one of the drivers from row 2 that perhaps breaks through the ranks? Not quite, because it is going to be Rory Smith that leads them towards turn number 1. Really good start there from the pole sitter. Murray, I think, was able to slot through into 2nd position, and then McLennan and Ivan McCulloch trying to go with them. Indeed, that is the order amongst the top 4 as they head for Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Murray, though, was under a bit of pressure, I think, as they went through the right-hander up the hill, but now he challenges for the lead and has gone through. So it is Niall Murray that gets himself ahead of Rory Smith, who's out on the damp and slippery side of the road. He loses 2nd place, he loses 3rd place as well as McLennan and McCulloch go through. Not an ideal start then for Rory Smith, last year's festival winner, who suddenly has quite a bit of work to do then. Up towards 30s we go for the first time, and it's Niall Murray with the lead.
We'll say Jan Magnussen didn't get the best of starts on the inside of the third row of the grid in 5th. He's back down at about 7th place. He's dropped behind both Megan Gilks, and also I think that's also Tom Hawkins, number 28, the Red Ray in there as well. So he's back down to about 7th place now. Got a bit of a shaky start, but knowing Jan, it shouldn't take him long to get back up towards the middle. He had upstead in the first lap, and it's Murray that leads it from McLennan in 2nd place. McCulloch 3rd, defending champion Smith in 4th, then Gilks, Hawkins, Magnussen down to 7th, then Acton, Allen and Stewart rounding out the top 10. As for Chris Goodwin, he's up there in 12th position, and another legend of the festival for the last few years, Stuart Casterbaugh in 16th. Very quick, interesting story in that. He was meant to race in the Van Diemen, crashed his car in testing, and therefore originally withdrew, but then, thanks to the efforts of Alan Bowles, who's had a fantastic effort in getting so many drivers and so much organisation with this event, helping the BRSCC, he sourced a Royale for him to race. So Chris, by that magic, Stuart is still in the festival this year, just not in the car he's expecting to race in. So good stuff for him to be in the mix and to be at the festival, and it's great to see him there. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, I have to say, Narmway is starting to pull away with quite a gap here. I have a feeling, Andy, kind of seen this before, haven't we?
Yeah, he is very good. One of the best, I'd say, actually, in Formula Ford racing at getting in front and breaking away from the pack. It's so difficult to do, but he just gets his head down, and he's one of those drivers that gets into a rhythm so quickly, and that rhythm is so important, especially around a track like this. It's a short circuit. You don't get much of a chance to breathe and relax over the course of the lap. If you can get into that rhythm straight away, that will certainly help, and that is the case for Niall Murray. He is 9/10 to the good already over Neil McLennan 2nd, and he then is 6/10 clear of this battle for 3rd place, which goes through Surtees corner, still with Ivan McCulloch just ahead of Rory Smith. But Smith goes to the inside into Clearways corner, gets up the inside cleanly, but there still isn't quite the grip on that inside line. That's always one of the last parts of the circuit to try out, and I think that just restricted his ability to complete that manoeuvre, and so McCulloch holds on to the final podium spot.
Great stuff from Ivan, this year's Martin Donnelly Trophy winner, and one of his prizes for winning that was an entry into the Formula Ford Festival gratis, essentially. That was good to see. Good battle going on now. Notice that was between Hawkins, Gilks, and I think Magnussen was in there too. Magnussen at the back of it now, as Hawkins has got past Gilks on the run through Paddock Hill Bend, up back towards Druids again at the top of the hairpin, through 180 degrees. So Hawkins doing well. He's here with, I think, his father Bob as well, who's helping him out amongst others. So I think he's also racing this weekend. But Gilks looking behind him and seeing the feisty 1992 form and former Class Le Mans winner and all sorts. He's become a very much well-renowned sports car racer. Of course, he did his couple of years in Formula 1 racing for McLaren as a test driver, made a couple of cameos, then did a season and a half with Stuart. So great to see Jan back here, of course, and driving as if he's almost never been away. Almost 30 years since he last stepped into Formula Ford, and driving as if he never left and he never forgot it.
Yeah, 4 times a Le Mans class winner, of course, in those years, those very successful years he had with Corvette Racing. Also, though, I'd forgotten, 1994 British Formula 3 champion as well, so he had lots of British single-seater success, and that's why, because he's quite feisty, isn't he? He's not afraid to get his elbows out and dives up the inside of Megan Gilks to take away that 6th place. So Jan Magnussen back into P6 then, and Gilks down into 7th spot, 2 places lower than she finished in her heat here 12 months ago. Down through Graham Hill Bend comes that group, and now that he's again got into that rhythm a bit, Jan Magnussen coming into his own, because he's now latched straight onto the gearbox of the 28 car of Tom Hawkins ahead of him. Hawkins up 2 places from where he started, but Jan Magnussen looking to try and find a way through. When he got the inside into Clearways, you can see that dry line getting ever wider on the way into the corner, but through the middle it's still a little bit slippery, and he just can't quite get up the inside for the time being.
Speaking of wider, I'm pretty certain that Tom Hawkins' eyes looks in the mirror, his eyes must be wide as anything. See, he's got the rapid Dane Jan Magnussen right behind him, and here he comes again. He did this once at Paddock Hill Bend. This time he fancies the outside line to get the undercut on the exit down the hill. Hawkins plants it right in the middle of the road. Gilks hasn't gone away so far. She's still latched on to the tail of these two as they go back towards Druids, and now he shows his nose up the inside, but still Hawkins doing a great defensive job. And I have to say, with the greatest respect, I didn't factor Tom Hawkins to one of the potential drivers that would do well, but fair play. He's actually doing a grand job in the position he's in 5th position, and he's genuinely holding off both Magnussen and Gilks. It's a brilliant defensive effort, and he's doing an absolutely amazing job.
He is, isn't he? And he's managed to hold Magnussen off now for just over a lap, so Jan is maybe starting to get a little bit frustrated, goes to the inside at Clearways, but Hawkins carries good speed into the turn, fends him off once more. We've lost, by the way, Michael Gray, which is a shame, because he qualified 8th on the grid. He had dropped down to 13th, so just out of those automatic promotional spots, but he's just pulled in to the back entrance front of the pit lane on the exit of Graham Hill Bend. His race done for now then. Magnussen up the inside of Hawkins again at Paddock Hill Bend. He's got that move made, hasn't he? He's good on the brakes into Paddock, runs a bit wide over the curb, but carries good speed out of the turn. That delayed Hawkins as well, and almost allowed Megan Gilks to get through on the inside line. Magnussen has actually been racing in touring cars this year in the Danish TCR Championship, finished 4th in that series, so perhaps shouldn't be a surprise that he's quite good at these late out-braking manoeuvres, and Paddock Hill Bend is the place to try and do that, and he's clearly sussed that out pretty quickly. Yeah,
there are plenty of late braking manoeuvres in touring cars you have to pull off. They don't always all come off, as we both know from touring car racing, but Jan's a wily old fox and he knows exactly what to do with this, so he's handling it well in this well-prepared low-density racing race chassis. He's just getting around one of the lapped cars in the field. I can't quite catch it. I think that's Terry Walkinshaw in the 7. Yeah, he started back in 21st, so Terry just enjoying himself there in smart drive from Terry. Good job for him to move out of the way of the leaders. Back with the leaders, Niall Murray still leads by 2.5 seconds in a typical Murray performance. Is now a big dive up the inside of Hawkins to get the move back again. Didn't quite catch it, and to be fair, trying to outsmart Jan Magnussen probably wasn't going to work, given the fact he's got that much experience. Hawkins manages to defend the inside line to stop a retaliation from Gilks to try and pick up 6th position. But I was going to mention at the head of the field, Niall Murray doing what Niall Murray does, which is get in front and pull away, as you're talking about. Oh, there's a car that's gone, it has a spin on going slowly. One of the older cars towards the back of the field has had a spin somewhere. Can't quite catch the number of it's a grey and blue car. It was numbered, watch the back of the go for 6th position. I couldn't quite tell the number on that one, but I'll possibly look at it later. Gilks, though, trying to pick up 6th position here from Tom Hawkins as they come up through Clark Curve onto the pit straight. Magnussen trying to pull away a bit in 5th place. Down the pit straight they go. We're on lap 9 of 12 now. Still this and another 3 laps to go. And looking around the outside this time, trying to take the high, wide and handsome line, as Brian Jones would say. And can't quite make it stick. Again, she shows nose to the inside line and just trying to pull herself far alongside. But the gap at the front then, Murray leading by 2.7 seconds over Neil McLennan in 2nd place, and then Rory Smith in 3rd, so he has got past Ivan McCulloch into a podium spot. Smith, of course, in 4th place, and then we've got McCulloch in 4th place, and of course that battle for 5th, 6th and 7th that we've got on the screen right now. As for transfer spots, the driver on the cusp is Jeremy Fairbairn. Now he is running this year with PWR1 Racing, as Megan Gilks does finally throw it up the inside into clearways, up the inside, thanks Tom, up in 6th position. But now Tom has that run, he's now the hunter rather than the hunted. He's in that slipstream and he's got a chance now to try and get her back as they come back down towards Paddock. So he's running out of time, but it's a cracking little battle for 6th position.
It is, isn't it? It's allowed Magnussen to clear off, though he's a 2.5 up the road from this group now, doing 52.8, which is not as quick as the 4 cars ahead of him, but then he doesn't need to push now. He's not going to catch them over the remaining 2.5 laps, so may as well just settle into that 5th place. It's a half decent grid position for the semi-final. He will, though, probably need to make some progress from there in order to get through automatically, at least, into the final tomorrow evening. Out of Graham Hill Bending they go. Megan Gilks now starting to clear off a little bit, I think, and pulling away from Hawkins behind as they come across the start-finish line. Now the race leader does anyway. Niall Murray onto his penultimate lap of the race of 51.4. He too has backed the pace off now by about half a second, but he's 3.5 seconds ahead of Neil McLennan in 2nd, who in turn 1.4 ahead of Rory Smith. So this heat has actually ended up being one of the slightly calmer ones. No safety car interruptions, drier conditions now, and when that man Murray gets out in front, he's still pushing on, isn't he? When he gets out in front, though, there's very little you can do to catch him.
Yeah, there's a reason why he was essentially the best Formula 4 driver of 2016, because he dominated the national championship that year. He went on to basically do the perfect triple. He won the Donnelly Trophy, he won the Formula 4 Festival, and then he won the World Taste Trophy. He was literally the class of Formula 4 in the UK and Irish shores all the way through. As it comes on to start the final lap of the race again, this is just Niall Murray doing Niall Murray things. He always does this when he gets a chance. When the car's underneath him and he feels good, he practically is unbeatable. And so, dare I say it, there's always a performance in the heats that is what I call ominous compared to their form in the later races. And I have to say, this particular performance, regardless of the fact it's drier than it was this morning, if I'm going to call it anything, this is ominous. This is an ominous performance so far to make it happen.
Yeah, well, we've seen in finals gone past, as I've said, when Murray gets out in front, he just seems able to pull away. But I think there are enough competitive drivers in the other heats that did well that would be able to stay with him, hopefully. So, you know, they always gets more competitive as you go deeper and deeper into the weekend, and I suspect that will be the case again this time around. Niall Murray, though, is going to come through to take probably the most comfortable of the heat victories so far this weekend. He'll just go past one more of the back markers as he crosses the line and takes the checkered flag. Heat number 4, sponsored by Downforce Radio, goes the way of Niall Murray. Second place for Neil McLennan, and third for Rory Smith, with fourth place for Ivan McCulloch. Fifth should be Jan Magnussen. We're waiting for him to come through, and we are still waiting for him to come through because he was some way behind those top 4. Here he comes. A really credible result. That started 5th, dropped a couple of positions at the start, but a really feisty drive to get back through into that top 5, beating Megan Giltz to 6th, who also in turn, as we saw, got herself ahead of Tom Hawkins towards the end. He is 7th place, and then 8th across the line is number 51. That's Robbie Allen. 9th place goes to Chris Goodwin. That was a good drive from 11th on the grid, but he actually dropped out of the top 12 early on and fought his way back through into 9th spot by the end. 10th place for number 93, Drew Stewart. 11th goes to number 10, which was Jeremy Fairbairn from 20th on the grid. Another driver that didn't look good for an automatic transfer spot based on the qualifying result, but raced an awful lot better in the dry conditions to 11th place. The final automatic transfer spot going the way of number 59, Chris Acton, who started 10th, and he actually, again, had the most comfortable 12th place position that we've had so far today, because he was some 11.5 seconds up the road of number 81, Philip Harris. So they are your heats done then. That's our sort of first taste of who the favourites might be. I'm getting a slightly better idea of who the real threats are going to be. The trouble is, the next time that we have certainly those really quick drivers back on the track tomorrow morning, we're basically supposed to be underwater, such as the ferocity of the rain that's due to arrive overnight. So it could turn the form book completely back on its head. It's going to be a fascinating rest of the weekend. Still more Formula Ford racing coming up later on today, of course, because we have the 2 progression races for those that did not score automatic promotion into the semi-finals. For now, though, our final heat podium finishers are making their way down towards the pit lane and towards Richard John Neal.
Thanks very much indeed, Andy, and the driver's already with us down here in Parc Fermé. It's been a long time since I caught up with this man. Great to see you, Niall Murray. Well done, mate. Congratulations. Lovely to see you back, and well done on the win.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Massively thankful to the team. It just gave me a fantastic car once again. Reading the conditions absolutely perfect. So yeah, no, I'm delighted now to get one down. We just need a little bit more pace in the wet. I think tomorrow might be wet, so we have the dry covered off, so just need to see what the wet weather pace is going to be like. You came back, you did a national championship round at the end of the year. Was that in prep for this? Yeah, of course, because I hadn't driven a car for 2 years since really? 2019 festival. So I did a champion brands race here. Just Tom was the only real front runner doing it, and I won both of them races. And then I did the national round in Saturday, where I got a win as well. So yeah, it was good preparation, because the last festival I did, when Jonathan won it, I hadn't driven a car since the previous festival, so I wanted a bit more preparation this time around. So yeah, so far so good. Missed out a little bit in qualifying, but happy to take the win in the heat. 2 double former festival winners winning heats, because Joey won his heat as well. So when we get you all together, it's going to be incredible, isn't it? Yeah, and Jonathan won his as well. Yeah. So it's going to be tight. As I said yesterday, there's probably 10 to 12 guys who really are in the mix in wet, damp and dry. So it's probably the tightest festival it has ever been for me anyway. The last 8 years, whatever I've done festivals. So really looking forward to tomorrow. And that's appropriate, isn't it, given it's the this special milestone that we've got this weekend. And how much would it be to you to win that 50th anniversary event? Yeah, no, it'd be brilliant. Look, that's why I wanted to do this one, especially. I missed out last year with COVID and everything was a bit difficult to get over. So I said to Bernard while I was watching it last year on the live stream, I said to him, I'm not watching it again on the live stream, so I'll do it next year. It'd be great to get my name up on the board 3 times, so looking forward to making that happen tomorrow. Excellent. Niall, well done. Congratulations on the heat win. We'll see you for the semis. Thanks very much. Let's have a quick word with second position, Neil McLennan. So I think the first chat with a Scot today. Well done, Neil. Good to see you. Well done. Hey, so PT flying the Salt tyre for our absent Joe Tanner this weekend as well, who normally does the honours. So me standing in. Well done, mate. Good race? Yeah, no, thank you. It was a good race. Got a good start. Got up to second. Track's got a lot of oil and it's quite slippy, so we struggled a wee bit from mid to end of the session, but we tried different things going into that race there.
and we know it doesn't work, so we know we can go back to another setup there. So yeah, no, overall I'm happy. It's been a while since we've been out the car. Last time we were out was, well, properly racing was the Walter Hayes last year, so it's good to be back.
Good to have you back. That was a tough heat. Well, there aren't any easy heats, are there? But, you know, I don't think there's a group of death, but maybe on paper that one perhaps was.
Yeah, I mean, Niall and Rory, they're very, very quick guys. But yeah, you're right, there's no heat that's easy. It's hard. It's a hard weekend. There's a really, really strong field out there, so it's going to be tough tomorrow.
Okay, well, good luck. We've got cars coming on the grid, so I need to scoot on. But well done, Neil. Good to see you. Catch up with you a bit in the semis. And we'll grab a quick word with Rory Smith as well. Well done, Neil. Thanks for talking to us. Rory Smith, sorry, mate, running out of time. We've got cars on the grid as well. But well done. Good to see you on the podium. I was just saying to the guys, what a tough group you're in.
Yeah, like Neil and Niall are obviously two of the toughest competitors we got here. And not my finest hour, that one, I don't think. I think we really deserve to be winning that, if not, you know, at least battling with Niall. So made it way too easy for him. But yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. It's not the end of the world. We've still got the semi-finals. So yeah, hopefully move forward in the semis and put us in a good position for the final.
I was going to say, it's not a bad start to your defence of the championship, is it?
No, it's not bad, but you know, the way this festival works, you know, the further you start, further back you go, makes it more and more difficult. So I can't be too disheartened, like you're saying, but yeah, would have liked to have been winning it, but hey-ho.
Semi.
Yes, semi, another chance.
Thanks, Rory. Well done, mate. Thanks for joining us on the podium. Congratulations. And again, if you spotted that, 3 different manufacturers represented on the podium with the Van Diemen win, Spectrum second, Medina the third chassis on the grid.